Hey guys, what is up? Justifiable Shenanigans here with the moment some of you have probably been waiting for. Here it is, the Shadows over Innistrad booster box. I decided I'd leave it closed up and then open it with you guys instead of just opening it and then showing you guys the packs and going through those. So here is the box. Try to be a tad bit careful with it. Get this plastic wrap off. Even the box itself looks really nice. Some of the sets art. I mean, I like the art, but I really love this art. It's just so mysterious, and that kind of captures the insanity and whatnot that is Shadows over Innistrad. So here is our box. Here's a little foldy top thing, so it's all on its display. So here is the box in its entirety. It's 36 packs, I think. 36? Yeah, 36 packs right here. 36. So I decided I was going to split this into 3 videos of 9. Opening 9 packs in each of the videos. I know what some of you guys probably are thinking. 9 times 3 is not 36. The problem is I have drafts that I do once a week, and sadly this is the only way I can have access to my booster packs. So I have to set aside 9 of these packs for me to open in drafts. I wish I could open the whole box on here, but sadly that's how it had to be. And I hope you guys will still be happy with what we do get to open. Alright, so let me just set aside those 9 packs so we can just forget about them and act like they never existed. Alright. So, this is the moment of truth, guys. Time to open the first pack. For those of you who don't know, Shadows over Innistrad is the newest set of Magic. It actually just came out like 4 days ago. Nothing too long ago. It's the werewolf, vampires, and just pure insanity. So, I'm gonna have to, sadly, because I don't have a camera holder, I'm gonna have to set the camera down to open the pack. You guys can still see it, hopefully, but then I'll pick it back up, and then I will go through the cards with you guys. This is also why I split it up into 9, because I don't think you guys want to sit here 36 packs, me setting it down, picking it back up, setting it down, picking it back up. Alright, so our first card is Unruly Mob. For 2, whenever another creature dies, you put a +1/+1 counter on him. And he is a 1/1 to start. He's a decent card. Starts off small and gets pretty big. Alright, the next card we have is Silberland. Is that land? Lind. Silberland Snapper. For 6. He's a 6/6 that cannot attack unless you cast a non-creature spell this turn. Honestly, not that amazing, but the art's pretty cool, and he's a turtle. I mean, who doesn't like a turtle? Then we have our Vessel of Ephemera. Ephemera. We'll go with that. It's 2 mana. It's an enchantment where you can pay 2 and a white to sacrifice it to put 2 1/1 spirit tokens with flying onto the battlefield. It's a fairly decent card. Not too amazing, not too bad either. Next we have our Blood Mad Vampire. 3 mana. He's a vampire berserker. He or she, I honestly can't tell, but when Blood Mad Vampire deals combat damage to a player, put a +1/+1 counter on it. It's originally a 4/1, and it's a madness cost of 2. So if you had to discard this card, you can pay 2 mana to put into the battlefield instead. And a fun thing about madness is you can do this as an instant speed. So if you can force this card to discard, you can just all of a sudden have a blocker out of nowhere. It's pretty nice. Then we have Fiery Temper. For 1 and 2 red. Fiery Temper deals 3 damage to a creature player. It's a madness of a singular red. You know, actually, I feel like you guys might get bored of me going through every single card in the set. So I'm just gonna give a gist of each card, and then I'll go over each of the rares and mythics. All right. So since clip wings for 2, and each opponent stacks a flying creature, it's a pretty decent card. The next one is a Fireball Revenant for 3, and Skulk Lifelink, and a 1/3. Then we have Rush of Adrenaline for 1, where target creature has an instant, gets +2/+1, and gains trample until end of turn. Quilled for 2, you can pay 6 to give him +4/+4, and he's a 2/2 base. A decent common. Ooh, starting with the uncommons, we have Pick the Brain for 3. Target opponent reveals his or her hand. You may choose a non-land card from it and exile that card. Delirium. If you have 4 or more card types among cards in your grave, search your opponent's grave, hand, and library for any cards of the same name and exile those cards. That player then shuffles his or her library. Wow, that's actually fairly decent. The next uncommon we have is Pour Over the Pages for 5. Draw 3 cards, untap 2 lands, and discard a card. Wow, that actually triggers a lot because you can trigger madness with that thing. Then we have, as I think our last uncommon, Spiteful Motives for 4. It's an enchantment aura flash. Enchanted creature has +3/+0 and has first strike. That's a pretty decent card. And for our rare, we have Prized Amalgam. Amalgam? Amalgam. We'll go with Amalgam. It's 1 and a blue and a black. He's a zombie. He's a 3/3. And whenever a creature enters the battlefield, if it was cast from your graveyard, or just entered from the graveyard, return this card from the grave to the battlefield at the beginning of your tapped. It returns tapped at the beginning of the next end step. That's a very decent card. And for our flip card, we have Lamhalt Pacifist. It's 2 mana, 1 and a green. Lombard Pacifist can't attack unless you control a creature with power of 4 or greater. Beginning of your upkeep, each upkeep, not just yours. If no spells were cast last turn, transform Lamhalt Pacifist. It's a 3/3, but then it transforms into Lamhalt Butcher. That's kind of funny because they're pacifist and now they're butcher. Anyways, it's a werewolf. That's a 4/4. And then at the beginning of each upkeep, if a player casts 2 or more spells, then you transform it again back to its human side. Because I guess werewolves don't like spells, I guess. It kind of scares them. And then there's our double-sided card and our clue token. I'm going to set the rares that we get over here for now. Alright, on to the next pack. See if I can do this with one hand. Oh wow, I can actually do it with one hand. I am impressed with myself. Alright, second pack. We've got an Emissary of the Sleepless. That's a 4. That pretty much when it dies, when it enters the battlefield, if a creature died, you get a 1/1 spirit token. Sleep Paralysis. It's 4 mana. It enchants a creature. When it enters, tap that creature, and that creature does not untap during its controller's next untap step. Oh, during any untap steps. Wow, that's pretty good. Moldgraph Scavenger. He's a 2 mana card. He's a 0/4. But with Delirium, he gets +3/+0 as long as there are 4 or more card types in your grave. So a 3/4 for 2 is a really good card if you can pull that off. Senseless Rage. It's 2 mana. It is an enchantment. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2, and it has a madness cost of 2. Sanitarium Skeleton for 1. You may pay 2 mana to return this card from grave to your hand, and it is a 1/2. Then we have a Watcher of the Web. It is a 5 mana creature with Reach. Watcher of the Web may block an additional 7 creatures each combat, and is a 2/5. So it's a nice blocker. Twins of your Estate. 5 mana. This is where the creepy cards get. Those are vampires. And they're 3/5 with madness of 3. And their text is really what's kind of creepy. It literally says, "Children, where are your parents?" The Wandering Monk's last words. So yeah. Cue the madness from this set, everybody. Good to know we found one this early. Then we have an Insolent Neonate for 1 mana. And it's got Menace, and then discard a card, sacrifice this to draw a card, so you can trigger Madness, and it's a 1/1. Then we have a Briar Bridge Patrol. It's a 4 mana, uncommon, with when it deals damage to 1 or more creatures, investigate. Now, investigate is you put a clue token onto the battlefield, which I actually just got one, so this is nice. With pay 2 colorless mana, sacrifice this to draw a card. Now, a lot of cards actually mess with these things, like this thing. At the beginning of each end step, if you sacrifice 3 or more clues this turn, you may put a creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. Now, I love this uncommon. Some people might not like it. I love it, mostly because I'm going to need some for my standard deck, so that makes me happy. Mad Prophet. It's a 4 mana. Oh, Mad Prophet. A human shaman with haste. Tap it. Discard a card and draw a card. Another Madness engine and a draw engine. And he's a 2/2. And then we have Humble the Brute. It's 5 mana. Uncommon. Instant speed. Destroy target creature power 4 or greater. And then you investigate. And our rare is Rattle Chains. Why, I almost said Rattle Bones, but that's not what that is. It's a 2 mana spirit creature with Flying and Flash. When it enters the battlefield, target spirit gets hexproof until the end of turn. You may cast spirit spells as though they had Flash, which is pretty nice. Then we have a Solitary Hunter. It's a 4 mana. At the beginning of each upkeep, if you have no spells, cast last turn. Wait, that's oddly out of order. Oh wait, it's the flip card. That's right. The flip cards at the end, it can be any rarity. It's common. It's just at the beginning of each upkeep, if no spells were cast, then you can transform Solitary Hunter. He's a 3/4. And then that 3/4 becomes one of the pack. At the beginning of upkeep, if you 2 or more spells are cast, then you transform it again. And it is a 5/6. For our rare, we have Elusive Tormentor for 4 mana. He's a rare, of course. Pay 1, discard a card, and transform him. He's a 4/4. But it turns into a hexproof, indestructible. Oh, his name first. Elusive Mist. Insidious Mist. I actually just said that because I had to read the other side. But he can't block and can't be blocked. He's an indestructible hexproof 0/1. When it attacks and isn't blocked, you can pay 3 mana. If you do, you transform it again. So it kind of just hits them for 4 and they can't do anything. It's a really nice card. Then we have our flip card, and we have our clue token. Let me just move this over here. I don't know why I put that with the rest of the rares when it's a common. Alright. We have an Inquisitor's Ox. It's kind of funny because you hear Inquisitor's Axe a lot, but Inquisitor's Ox. He's a 4 mana Delirium, given +1/+0 on Vigilance, and he's a 2/5. Then we have Silent Observer. It's a 4 mana Flying Spirit. That's a 1/5. Survive the Night. 3 mana. Target creature has +1/+0, gains indestructible until end of turn, and you investigate. It's an instant, which is really nice. Another, Senseless Madness. I feel like we're going to get a senselessly large amount of these things. Because I've already opened a few packs myself, just by myself, and I got a lot of these. Kind of annoying. But they're a good card nonetheless. Then we have a Dryad. It's a 1 mana. It's a Dryad Horror. You can tap an untapped creature you control to add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. And it's a 1/2. Another one of the twins of the estate. Ooh, spooky. Spooky vampire children. It's still kind of messed up. Structural Distortion. It's a 4 mana. Exile target artifact or land. This card deals 2 damage to that permanent's controller. And this is one of those cards where Nahiri is pissed and she's just blowing stuff up. That's what Nahiri does, I guess. As Nahiri. Stoic Builder. 3 mana. When it enters the battlefield, you may return target land from your grave to your hand. Decent card. First uncommon. Case Blast. It's 3 mana. It does 2 damage to target creature player. You then can pay 3 mana to exile this from a grave to copy target instant or sorcery you control. You may choose new targets for those copies. It's a really good card, if used correctly. Then we have a Ghoul Steed. Ghoul Steed is 5 mana. You pay 3 mana to discard 2 cards. Return this to you from your grave to the battlefield. Tapped. That's alright. It's a 4/4. Then we have Rise from the Tides. It's 6 mana. Sorcery. Where you put a 2/2 black zombie creature token onto the battlefield tapped for each instant or sorcery in your graveyard. This seems like Self-Mill is going to become a very good combo in this set. Just in the way that so many cards support it. And I think we're at our rare. We are. Oh, this is a nice one actually. Declaration in Stone. It's 2 mana. It's a rare. Sorcery speed. Exile target creature and all other cards its controller controls. That's a tongue twister. With the same name as that creature. That player investigates for each non-token creature exiled this way. Specification on the non-token part. This is great token removal, especially with the number of tokens that can come out based on what I've seen on the vampires. Then we have a Poyas Avengal? Okay, we'll go with that. 3 mana. Whenever this or another creature enters the battlefield, you gain 1 life. You can't choose. And then you pay 2 to sack another permanent to transform him into Wayward Disciple. Whenever he or another creature you control dies, target opponent loses a life and you gain a life. Ooh, so this one's kind of flavorful. He turns from a priest that's devoted to someone willing to just heal himself and others. That's a little twisted. These cards, these just seem really out of place, and it's kind of odd. So I got a Loam Dryad here in the pack. That's weird. Again, you already just saw it in the last pack, so I don't really need to explain it. Then we have a Swamp. Majestic Swamp. Rarest card in the set, apparently. And a clue token. Oh, let me just grab the rare from this set and throw it in the pile with the rest of them. Well, less of pile and more of awesome stack. because these cards are actually really good that I've pulled so far. The next pack. Okay, this video is going to be a very long video if I go over each card. So, I'm just going to show you the art for each of these cards. And then say the name, so then I'm just going to keep going. Inspiring Captain. Catalog. Survive the Night. Drownyard Explorers. Moldgraph Scavenger. I will talk about the uncommons and rare though. Apothecary Geist. Howlpack Wolf. Fork in the Road. Throttle. Alright, the uncommon. Glisso's Binding. You put 2/2/2 zombies on the battlefield for 4. And it has a menace cost of 3. Incorrigible youth. Ah, the young ones. Turn into vampires and eating their teacher. That's a little messed up. Okay. So it's 5 mana. It's got haste. It's got a menace of 3. And it is a 4/3. So it's a decent card actually. Terrifying, but it's a decent card. Fleeting Memories for 3 mana. Ah, the memories are gone. It's an enchantment. When this enters the battlefield, investigate. Whenever you sacrifice a clue, target player puts the top 3 cards of his or her library into the grave. So clue sacrificing into mill is going to be an interesting strategy, I guess. Cool. Ooh. An Invocation of Saint Traft. It's 3 mana, a white and a blue, and colorless. Oh, sorry guys, this is actually a rare. I was not paying attention. And it is an enchantment aura. Enchanted creature. Whenever it attacks, put a 4/4 white angel token on the battlefield tapped and attacking. Then you exile that token at the end of combat. It's a decent rare. What is this? Ooh, our flip card. Hermit of the Natternolls. It's 3 mana. When an opponent casts a spell during your turn, draw a card. Ooh. At the beginning of each upkeep, if no spells were cast last turn, you transform him into the Lone Wolf of Natternolls. When your opponent casts a spell during your turn, you draw 2 cards. At the beginning of each upkeep, if a player casts 2 or more spells, you then transform him back. He is a 3/5 on this side. And I did not specify actually, he is a 2/3 on the other side. Then we have our flip card and our knight token. Human soldier token. He kind of looked like a knight a little bit. Pack number 5. Wow, counting is hard. See, that one went a little faster. That's probably what I'm going to end up doing. So we have a catalog. We have a Thraben Inspector. Nimbus of Dusk. Ghoul Caller's Accomplice. Seagraft Scab. True Faith Censor. Uncaged Fury. Byway Courier. And our first uncommon is a Spectral Shepherd. It's 3 mana. It's a spirit with flying, where you can pay 2 to return target spirit you control to its owner's hand. Use a 2/2. Haunted Cloak for 3. Equipped creature has vigilance, trample, and haste, and equips for 1 mana. And our next is an uncommon. It is a Foul Orchard. You enters tapped, and you can make a green or a black, and it's uncommon. And our rare is... ooh, it's a mythic. It's a mythic, guys. Woven Wild Hydra. It's a 6 mana creature, mythic with reach. Its power and toughness equal the number of lands in your control. When it enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a land card, put it into the battlefield tapped, and shuffle your library. That's actually a pretty decent card, not gonna lie. I like it. Convicted Killer for 3 mana. At the beginning of each upkeep, if you cast no spells, you may No, I want to untap. Whoa, okay. At the beginning of your upkeep, if no spells were cast last turn, transform it. It was a 2/2. It becomes a Branded Howler. It becomes a 4/4 with a generic werewolf ability. Then we have a Topolgeist. For 1 mana, it is a uncommon spirit with flying. When Topolgeist enters the battlefield, tap target creature and opponent controls Delirium. At the beginning of each of your opponent's upkeeps, if there are 4 or more card types in your grave among your cards, tap target creature your opponent controls. So these packs are kind of out of order a little bit, and that's kind of odd. So it's 5 packs. Time for number 6. Alright, we got a Cathar's Companion. We got a Lamplighter of Sudhoff. Gone Missing. It's a funny card, I'm sorry. To just vanish. Ethereal Guidance. Might Beyond Reason. Stormkirk Mentor. Tormenting Voice. Clip Wings. And our first uncommon. Not Forgotten. It is 2 mana sorcery. Put target card from a grave on the top or bottom of its owner's library. Put a 1/1 spirit token onto the battlefield with flying. Our next card is Howling Resurgence. 3 mana. Flash. Creatures you control that are each creature you control that's a wolf or werewolf gets +1/+1 and trample. And then we have a Indulgent Aristocrat for 1. He is an uncommon vampire with lifelink. And you pay 2 to sack a creature and put a +1/+1 on each vampire you control. He is a 1/1. Then, a Sinbrauder. He's 3 mana. It's a devil with menace. It's like a paragraph here. Jeez. At the beginning of your upkeep, reveal the top card of your library. Any opponent may choose to put that card in your grave. If they do, Sinbrauder deals damage equal to that player, equal to the card's converted mana cost. Otherwise, put that card in your hand. That's really good. I love it. And then we have a Keysage Forge Master. It's 2 mana. It's an uncommon human shaman werewolf. When it blocks, or becomes blocked, deal by a creature. I don't know why I had to specify a creature, but that's okay. It does 1 damage to that creature. At the beginning of each upkeep that no spells were cast, last turn, transform this card. It is a 2/1 normally. Then it becomes a Flameheart Werewolf. It has the same effect as the other guy, but it does 2 damage. And then if 2 or more spells were cast, then you transform this card back. Then we have a foil Drownyard Temple. Oh, I love this card. Drownyard Temple is... I love Drownyard Temple. I actually need one eventually. Well, now I have it, so... This is good. Wait, is it foil? I can't even tell. Yeah, it is foil. Look at that. Wow, that's a really good card. Cool. Gonna set that over here. It is a rare. So then we have our flip token and our zombie. Actually, let me just check real quick. None of these are foils, right? Alright, because the lighting was kind of bad. And that might explain why some of those cards are out of place. Yep, that does explain why some of those cards were out of place. Because they were foils. And I'm an idiot. So, give me a second here as I scuffle through these cards to pull out those foils that I tell were foils because I am blind. But that's okay. This dude's a werewolf. He's not a foil. No foils here. Are there some foils I missed? Let me check. Were you a foil? Yes, you were. Oh my god, yes, you were a foil as well. I am bad at this. Pay no attention to how awful I am at deciding what cards are foils and what cards are not. Alright, guys. We're back on track here. After me going through and realizing I missed like 4 foils. Yeah, I can just hear the slow clapping from your side of the screen. Alright, well, that's still awesome. So, we have opened 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 packs. Oh, sorry, the zombie token, the flip card. 6 packs done. Time for pack number 7. 7 is one of my lucky numbers. Did I just reset the video? Alright, well, time to continue opening these packs. I have opened 6 packs. 6 packs so far. Here's lucky number 7. Because, I mean, who doesn't like the number 7? Apparently, I don't like foils, so why would I like the number 7? Lamplighter of Southhoff. Puncturing Light. Sleep Paralysis. Wicker Witch. Stallion of Ashmouth. Ashmouth. Confront the Unknown. Throttle. Vessel of Volatility. Thornhide Wolves are a burst uncommon. Is invasive surgery. It's 1 mana. To counter a spell. A sorcery spell. And then, if you have Delirium, you search their everything for a copy of that spell and exile it. Gref's Boon. It's 1 mana. Enchanted creature. It's +1/+1 flying. You may pay 3 mana to return this from the grave attached to a creature. Magnifying Glass. It is 3 mana. Tap it for a colorless mana or pay 4. Tap it and investigate to get a clue token. And our rare is Fervid Visions. 1 blue and red. An enchantment. At the beginning of each player's end step, that player draws a card. If that player is your opponent and they have 4 or more cards in their hand, this does 2 damage to them. That's really decent. Then our next card is a Hinterland Lager. It's a 2 mana for a 2/1 that has a generic flip ability that flips into a 4/2 with Trample. Then we have an Island Suite and a clue token. Alright, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 wasn't that amazing, by the way. But 8 could be great. So, we got a Ghostly Wing. Oh, sorry. Got a Ghostly Wings. We got a Silent Observer. Puncturing Light. Hound of Firebogs. Ethereal Guidance. Ember Eye Wolf. Equestrian Skills. Got a Massacre Waltz. A Macabre Wolf, not Massacre, jeez. Pyre Wolf. And our first uncommon is a Gloom Widow. He's a 3 mana reach 3/3 that can block only creatures with flying. Whoa. Corpse Tracker. A Drunayu Corpse Tracker. He's a 4 mana creature. It's a 1/1. That when it enters the battlefield, you get a 2/2 zombie. You can pay 3 mana to give target zombie death touch until end of turn. Then our uncommon next is Tenacity. It's a 4 mana. Creatures you control gain +1/+1 on lifelink until end of turn. Untap them. It's an instant. And no, we got another for Red Visions. Right after another. Okay. So, like last time, at the beginning of each player's end step, they draw a card. If that opponent is an opponent and they have 4 or more in their hand, then does 2 damage to them. Cool. And we have a Kindly Stranger. Oh, I'm afraid that they're not very kindly, are they? They're 3 mana. You may then pay 3 mana if you have Delirium to flip them. They're a 2/3. Yeah, okay, they are not friendly. Oh my god, alright. They become a demon possessed witch. That's not fun. When they transform, they destroy target creature. Okay. And it's a 4/3. And a flip card and a clue token. Sweet. So then this is the 9th and final pack for this video. Let's do this. Ooh, this is good. We start with a new card I've never seen before. Expose Evil. Homunculus. Furtive Homunculus. Devil-Thorn Fox. Strength of Arms. Vegamatic Chasm. Seems painful. Throttle. Vessel of why can I never pronounce this word? Volatility. Hide Wolves. Rancid Rats. Trail of Evidence is our first uncommon for 3. It's an enchantment. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, you may investigate. Obsessive Skinner with 2. He's a creature. Whenever he enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 on target creature. Delirium. At the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, you may put a +1/+1 on target creature, and he's 1/1. And our next card is Stone Quarters. And enters the battlefield tapped, you get a red and a white, or a white mana. And our rare is a land. A 4 Binding Ruin. It's a rare. When it enters the battlefield, you may reveal a swamp or a mountain from your hand. If you don't, it enters tapped. It taps for a black or a red mana. And our flip card is a Arbrent Researcher. He's a 4 mana card. He's flying. It's a 3/2, but he has a unique flip. At the beginning of your upkeep, you put the top card of your library into the grave. If it's an instant or sorcery, you flip this card into the perfected form. He's a flying 5/4, which is actually pretty terrifying. You got a flip card and a clue. So, these are our rares for the first set of the cards we opened. We've got our Sin Marauder, our prized Amalgam, Elusive Tormentor, Invocation, Albanwad Hydra, Declaration Stone, 2 Fervid Visions, and our 4 Binding Ruins. I'd say this is a pretty decent pull, for this first 9 packs. But I can't wait to see what else we get from this. So this is Justifiable Shenanigans, signing off till next time. See you guys later.